Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Sorry about all this. Waiting. I'm trying to get a few things sorted. It's been a little while since I've done anything, and trying to remember how I did it. Anyways, let's see. Give a moment for anybody that wants to show up. I doubt anybody will, but that's me. I'm a pessimist. At least I know one person that'll like the thumbnail. And I do intend to go over like States, the Rings of Power, and Obi Wan, but I'll go over a little bit of Star Trek because it's not popular opinion amongst a lot of people on YouTube, but I am finding a way, and I don't know how. I really don't. To be entertained by the Strange New World series. I mean, it's not great, but I can turn my brain off and not think about things and just try to enjoy the flashing lights, as it were. But anyways, alrighty. Well, let's see. Since Rings of Power is the first thing to go, I guess I might as well show you what was almost the thumbnail, just because it's my favorite image released from the Rings of Power, and that's this one. I mean, that is absolutely my favorite. Anyway, and then it all goes downhill from there in some ways. But let's get to let's see if I get into the first article. This one. Sorry, I'm having to get things to pull back up because some things have locked up on me. So please give me a moment. Because, I'm kind of crap at this. I'm not kind of crap. I'm totally crap at this. That's the reason I'm doing a live stream, is because I don't know how to edit. I'm terrible at it. I'm surprised in my videos I can even get an intro in. And once again, thank you to the Monty Python people for the intro and the name. So, I don't know if one of the got a friend that I might want to show up to see if I can use the instructions to turn them into a wrench, but more on that in a moment. But I guess let's start with the first one and go from there. I'm going to say I don't know much about the initial website that we're going to see, but I haven't recent articles, so I might as well try it. All right, here we go. This is from Fansided. Lord of the Rings of Power TV show is not television. This is by Dan Leck, I guess. I'm sorry. I really, even if I don't agree with the person, I still don't like mispronouncing their name, if I can help it. And maybe it's pronounced like Selleck, but like Tom Selleck. But you know what? Before I dig an even deeper hole, I guess we better leave it alone. But this article came out 2 days ago. Lord of the Rings of Power promises to be one of the biggest shows of the summer, of any summer. Amazon is spending a dragon's worth of money on this thing, over $1 billion, if everything goes according to plan. This is one of the biggest swings in the history of TV. In fact, it might be hard to even call this TV. That seems to be the feeling of J.A. Bayona. Sorry, another one I cannot pronounce. One of the showrunners on the series, The Rings of Power, is not television. He recently told Empire, it's a new form we're creating here. Before we go too much further, yes, I want the show to be good. Do I have hopes for it? I don't know. To be honest, the initial trailer to Super Bowl that everybody saw, I hate to put it this way, it just looked like a generic fantasy thing, a generic fantasy series. It didn't really have the lived-in, grungy feel of Lord of the Rings. I know they're trying to say, well, this is in the Second Age. Well, there was an entire age before it. Second Age was after a massive war. Massive destruction happened. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff happened in there. But now, on one level, that's a silly thing to say. The Rings of Power has 8 episodes. It has seasons. It tells a serialized story with characters who return week after week. That's TV. But on the other hand, I kind of get it. The lines between TV and movies have blurred more and more of late. There are episodes of Game of Thrones that depict battles as epic as anything you've seen at the cinema, and the upcoming finale of Stranger Things Season 4 is a staggering 2.5 hours long. It's TV, but it's not TV like most folk have ever known it. And the Rings of Power is playing in the same playground. Well, for $1 billion and this many years holding on to the property, they better get their money's worth. Lord of the Rings of Power has a lot of action in it. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I can't pronounce your name. Is directing the first 2 episodes of the series and will be working alongside showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay to bring The Rings of Power to life. Per MovieWeb, Payne and McKay went into a little more depth about what to expect from this not TV kind of TV show. Yes, I'm reading the article and everything, but please look these people up. They did the work. They deserve it. And please excuse the minor explosions in the background. Somebody's setting off fireworks down the road. I don't know if y'all heard it, but it just halfway blew up my right eardrum because my ear's ringing. The Siege of Helm's Deep is so iconic and amazing that it was like, what's a different thing that we could do that still feels like Middle Earth, but is unique for the story? The show has a lot of action in it, more so than any television or streaming show that we've seen. Every episode has set pieces, creatures, battles, and white-knuckle fights to death, but instead of having 10,000 orcs fighting 10,000 men, what's it like to have one orc in your face, in your kitchen? What's it like trying to kill an orc when you've never killed an orc before? Okay, action nice. I hope they have a story to back up. Kind of odd way to cut off your article there. Yeah, this is the design they have for the orcs now, and okay. I'm sure they'll look better when there's not so much lighting on them, but maybe that's just me. I kind of preferred the way it looked whenever Peter Jackson had them, but I understand wanting to take in a little bit of a change, or a lot of a change. But let's see. We'll go into the next one, the next article, just because that one was a little short, and this one actually has something to go with it a little bit. And I hope it. Just trying to get my feet up. I'm sorry. And here we go. This is from Screen Rant. Rings of Power TV spot teases beginning of Lord of the Rings shows story. Rings of Power television spot reveals a brand new tagline for the highly anticipated Lord of the Rings prequel series coming to Prime Video. This is, according to this, published 3 hours ago, but I've been sitting for a while, so it's been a couple hours. By Adam Binz, I guess. Binz? No offense. I really don't mean any. I just don't do well names. A television spot for Lord of the Rings of Power reveals a new tagline for the upcoming prequel series based on the author J.R.R. Tolkien's seminal Lord of the Rings novels and their appendices. Mostly the show is just going to be on the appendices because that's what they got the rights to. They didn't get the rights to the main meat and potatoes or Silmarillion or Unfinished Tales. So Prime Video's highly anticipated Rings of Power prequel series was developed for television by writers J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay. Amazon has made we already saw that. A commitment to a 5-season arc of the show, which will cover the time period known as the Second Age. Not quite. Greetings, old man. Won't be able to talk. Okay, that's no biggie. Hopefully, at least there's something interesting in this. Good to have you here. And in a little bit, I'm going to try to wrench you if I can. I just don't know how to do that. Excuse me, let me get a drink. The prequel will feature the return of Elrond and Galadriel, with Game of Thrones' Robert Aramayo and his Dark Materials Morfydd Clark playing younger versions of the Elven characters. The Rings of Power also features a massive ensemble cast comprised of actors from around the world playing new Elven, Dwarven, Human, and early Hobbit-like characters known as Harfoots, which, okay, there are 3 types of hobbits, and Harfoot's actually part of the 3, so they're really going to have to make this work to make sense for them to be in the Second Age, because hobbits didn't really show up until the 3rd. With the series premiere in September quickly approaching, Amazon's marketing campaign has been making a concerted effort to acquaint audiences with differences in Middle-earth milieu during the Second Age. With a few months to go until the series premiere, The Rings of Power is beginning to air several television spots. One of them, shared by the official Lord of the Rings Prime Twitter account, reveals a brand new tagline for the prequel series, "Nothing is evil in the beginning." The 15-second TV spot also features some footage of the show's new characters and sprawling sets. Well, I'm going to, brace yourself, old man. I'm about to shoot myself in the foot because I'm just so demoralized, and they keep going after my channel on every video I try to make anyways, because of, well, last time it was Disney, before that it was Paramount, so screw it. Maybe Amazon will be reasonable. Keith, that was a little loud. I am very sorry about that. Oh, my ears. Oh, my ears. All right, but at least it was only 15 seconds. I am very sorry about that, old man. And anybody else that may be there, if anybody is there. Oh. The tagline, "Nothing is evil in the beginning," is a short but suggestive tease for what audiences should expect from The Rings of Power. The prequel series will chronicle the creation of the titular Rings of Power, the Dark Lord Sauron's rise to power in Middle-earth, the downfall of the island kingdom Numenor, and the last alliance of elves and men. These major events will transport audiences back in time thousands of years before the Lord of the Rings. The last alliance of elves and... never mind. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Those are for Lord of the Rings, which made for an incredibly epic trilogy from Peter Jackson, complete with big battles and set pieces. Comparatively, the Second Age is a time of relative peace, as the Rings of Power have not even been forged yet, nor has Sauron reached the peak of his power. Thus, good and evil are much less defined and more ambiguous than in future stories. When the two sides are clearly represented by rings instead, the Rings of Power will take a deep dive into each faction's motives and culture, and like Game of Thrones, explore political relations between them. That's the part that kind of bothers me. But Game of Thrones is good. You know, the books for the Song Ice and Fire, they're good, but you cannot. These two don't mix. Tolkien's work and Martin's work don't mix. And it's just, but you know what? I'm just going to have to wait and see. I can hope for the best, but I'm cautious. Explore I'm talking about political rights for them. On a future of Middle Earth, so wait for Lord of the Rings. It's almost over. The show is set to premiere on September 3rd because even the author of the article can't get it right. September 2nd. September 3rd. I know it's a minor gripe, but come on. You had the trailer in it. It'd be better if it was on the 3rd, to be honest. But, you know, there are mistakes. Minor gripe. Shouldn't be so nitpicky. I screw up all the time. I can't pronounce names, but at least I can pronounce. At least I can put down the date that I see in a trailer. But okay. Let's see. Sorry. I know I'm crap. Nitpick over stupid things. It's just whenever you're going through a whole bunch of word salads, reading different articles, and a lot of it is word salad. So I'm having to go through, pick articles that are the least convoluted word salads from hell, just to give a clear idea of what we're doing, what I'm wanting to read, what I'm wanting to convey, what news I'm trying to convey, or just whatever opinion I'm trying to convey. It gets annoying. And as bad as that was, that is as annoying as that was for me. That is nothing That is absolutely nothing. Go to any major news website and try to read anything from them, and I promise you, you will find errors all throughout it. Any article, just randomly pick one. Just play article roulette. You know, do the thing where you get all the different articles of the day on one page. Scroll up and down with your eyes closed, and wherever it stops, just click it. After you count to 10 of scrolling up and down, click without opening your eyes. Read that article, and I guarantee you there's going to be a whole bunch of errors in it. It's like editors don't exist anymore. But that's me nitpicking when I really shouldn't. And please stop doing that, Brave. Alright, I guess we'll get to the next one. Not a site I particularly go to very often for really anything. But it'll have to do. You have GameSpot. You know, they used to have a good series, Skyrim Mods of the Week. Stuff like that. I enjoyed that with Cam and Seb. That was good, but then they just became nothing more than a shill site for a lot of things. But I'm saying this is the only one that actually has the any decent interview with this actor. It's what I had to do. Yeah, you know what you have to do. This article is by Haley Williams. It's on June 29th. Like I said, it's at GameSpot. Last one was at Screen Rant. My apologies. And the one before that is from winteriscoming.net. I suggest avoid that one for the most part. Read it, but I wouldn't spend too much time there because, yeah. There's Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, Celebrimbor. Actor dishes on the elf who forged the Rings of Power. So this TV series will be the first media to flesh out the legacy of Celebrimbor. Here's what we know about him so far. Personally, I say that the story they fleshed out for Shadow of Mordor was a whole lot better than anything they seem to be wanting to come forward with. So they're really going to have to flesh it out better in the show itself, because I know they're not going to do too much in an article, but it's a high benchmark. After a long period of secrecy, we're finally getting more juicy details about Amazon's ambitious Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Most recently, a fandom feature has revealed more about Celebrimbor, the elf who forged 3 of the titular Rings of Power, including 2 new character photos. Yes, I know that technically Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War don't count as far as anything for background with story, as far as works with Tolkien, but they did a really good job. Celebrimbor was first revealed earlier in June, and now actor Charles Edward has given more details on the series' take on the mysterious character. What we are spoiled with in this enterprise, particularly in my case, is that Celebrimbor is mentioned in Lord of the Rings as the forger of the rings, briefly. Edwards explaining the freedom the production had in adapting his character. He's not only a footnote, but he's a side note. The other sources for our shows is the appendices for the Lord of the Rings, in which Tolkien makes lots of notes and ideas about characters that aren't quite set in stone. In order to start building a character that's very exciting, that Edward says, there's a blueprint, but there hasn't been any coloring in, and it's down to me and everyone else to create him. That has been really exciting. So consider two or three versions that Tolkien had of the character, which in themselves differ from each other. Our version is a composite, and then a little bit more. Yeah, I'm not going to say it looks bad. All right, he looks all right, but and I know it's the lighting, the photo shoot type quality of stuff. It just still doesn't quite feel like Lord of the Rings. It doesn't feel like anything in Tolkien. It just doesn't quite feel right. And it looks like a photo shoot you'd find in Cosmo or something, on the cover of Cosmo. Exclusive, we have new images and info on Celebrimbor and Rings of Power, the regal elf responsible for, yeah, we know that. Explaining what Celebrimbor is like to play, Edwards calls him cautious, gullible, vain, and brilliant craftsman. As you might expect from the maker of the three Elven Rings of Power, he can be a bit of a user, but he can also be used, he continues. He's proud, he prefers seclusion, he's not a people person, he is not terribly socially interested. He can be quite blunt, he's very ambitious, colossally ambitious. In our story, Celebrimbor encourages and assists Elrond to visit Khazad-dûm and to court the dwarves, says actor Charles Edwards, but he has an ulterior motive. In the first season of the Rings of Power will explore Celebrimbor's alliance with the dwarves, with his realm of Eregion situated close to Khazad-dûm, better known as Moria. In our story, Celebrimbor encourages and assists Elrond to visit Khazad-dûm and to court the dwarves. There was explained to me of that, but Celebrimbor is very much in support of working together. Neither race would have produced the wonders that they had, that they created, without the aid of others. So clearly we're in a time of peace, certainly in terms of working relationship, and Celebrimbor has great respect for them. Well, considering he's the guy that crafted the door for Khazad-dûm. It's the password. Speak, friend, and enter the law. Come on. Yeah. I'd like to see them make that. Yeah, show that. Establish his craftsmanship before the rings. Yeah. The full interview. In other Lord of the Rings news, Rings of Power showrunner has revealed that the show's creative team already have 5 seasons mapped out. At least they got them lined up. The products discussed here were independently chosen by our editors. GameSpot may get a share of revenue if you buy anything featured in our. Yeah, well, you know what? I don't really use anything from you. No offense. Just not for me. Let's see. You know what? Let's see. What do we got here? Yeah, that's about all I can stomach of reading the articles on Rings of Power, anyways. And some of these articles just didn't want to reload, so screw them. Sorry about that. So I guess it's onward and upward to other things. Oh, cool. Oh, wait. Go away. Okay, now time to smash my head into a table until the pain goes away. Lord forgive me, what am I doing? I guess it's because I never learned my lesson. Wish me luck, old man. Well, for anybody that may be there or may not be, I don't know. We're about to get into something that has, in many ways, demoralized the ever-loving hell out of me. It's something I tried to make a video on, and I tried to, it's fair. Or at least I see how it's fair. None of my everything I had, every image I used was fair use, you name it. Got shot down as soon as I tried to upload. So, not going to be a surprise to anybody, but screw Disney for striking down my videos. So, we're going to go into a review of Obi Wan this way, and if anybody is there and has any thoughts on it, please feel free to chime in, or any thoughts on Rings of Power. Please chime in. I'm not going to say I have no much lore with Lord of the Rings. I enjoy the books. There are many others that are much better at details on Lord of the Rings, and just like there's many others that are far more knowledgeable on Star Wars than I am. Quite frankly, even with the difference between the two is that I've had to come to the point with myself that I as a friend that has told me recently, basically looking at it from the perspective of a lore nerd, and I really shouldn't, is what I'm saying. I'm saying I really shouldn't. Because canon matters to me, but reflecting and everything, the fact that canon doesn't matter anymore. It's Disney's canon now. They erased everything that was canon, so whatever they want to do, they can do. So the best we can do is just try to enjoy what we can of it before it gets worse. Or better. Who knows? It may get better. Boba Fett, last episode. I enjoyed it. The first 2 episodes of Boba Fett, alright. Slow. They probably could have condensed it down to 1. All they really needed to do is explain how he got out of Boba Fett got out of the Sarlacc. And personally, I think he should never have taken off the helmet again and said little to nothing after he got his helmet back. He was always supposed to be mysterious. He's the most ruthless bounty hunter in the galaxy. But, that was a creative choice, and that's on them. Same with Obi Wan. Now, Obi Wan is a different story. Obi Wan was entertaining at times, aggravating at times, confusing at times, disappointing in some ways. My biggest gripes, as much as lore could be, I'm going to completely ignore lore problems. My biggest gripes with the show come down to direction and camera work and editing. I can't say too much on editing because I can't edit for shit. Sorry, Stream. But as far as camera work, there's a magical device. If you'll give me just a moment. Okay, these wonderful devices here, these wonderful, beautiful, glorious inventions, invented decades ago. That's just kind of creepy. Look, old man, it's our replacement. It's the replacement for people. It's it's Tesla's new model of robotic cameraman, sponsored by Honda. Uh, but yes, they're wonderful things. They're called gimbals, stabilizers. They are meant to keep the camera steady while moving, not film like a person on a trampoline in an earthquake. Getting jostled around. They're not jumping. They're trying to stand still, but they're getting jostled around, falling over, and everything else. It's like the eyesight of a Jello mold. If you put googly eyes on a Jello mold and stick it in an earthquake, that's what episode 4 had a lot of. But it's neither here nor there. Just remember, Deborah Chow needs one of these. Needs a whole bunch of these. As a matter of fact, if I knew how, I would start a fund to send her a gimbal for her cameraman. Tell me the camera she needs, that she uses, and I'll find a bloody gimbal. Okay. That's minor gripe. Anyways, back to where we're going with this. Okay. First episode of the series. Poor Obi Wan here. Ian McGregor, mind you. Excellent job. Oh, wait. I already donate to you. Stop it. Oh. Sorry. Let's see. Let's get Ian McGregor. But we're going to go. Oh, wait. Yeah. We're going to get back to the cast. Okay. Here's your cast. Now, the cast did good for, they did a good job. I have nothing particular against them. My problem is with the writers and director and the editor, not with the cast. The cast did the best they could with what they had, and they did pretty well. Let's see. Big people are focusing on Moses Ingram because of all the stuff that came out before the series even came out. I'm avoiding that stuff. As an actress, I have nothing against her at all. She did fine for her role, but her character sucked. I'm not going to be around the bush with it. Her character sucked. Besides being one of the most poorly written characters, that if they had a few more episodes and allowed to flesh her out, they probably could have made her something that you could actually care about. The plotline with her just did not pay off at all, and too many problems with her, and I really don't understand her purpose in this show. Young Leia, no problem with there, except for whenever she's getting chased in the first episode by Flea and others trying to catch her, and it was a Benny Hill skit. Okay, it's a bloody Benny Hill skit, and there are plenty of videos on YouTube where people have edited Benny Hill music over it. Just saying. But it was fine. You're establishing that Obi Wan is sitting out in the desert. He's broken, depressed. Okay, his whole job, his whole existence, was to protect Luke. Which raises the question: bearing your lightsaber, both lightsabers, in the desert, in a dune, and a place called the Dune Sea, which happens to shift all the time. So if anybody did show up, the primary source of your hold on, I need to go. Just wait 20 minutes. I'm gonna take my camel thing, go get my lightsabers, and come back. Okay, but that's not here or there. It was still, as much as the episode annoyed me, I kind of enjoyed some of the feel of it. The Reva parts with it really didn't make any sense. I mean, they show up, they're looking for random Jedi that is on the planet and everything. They spot him in a cantina, and not in a cantina, just a little open air one. They lure him out, and she immediately tries to cleave him in half and has to be stopped by the Grand Inquisitor. He runs away, escapes. She goes through. Next time you see Reva, she goes through. She slices the hand off an old woman. Yay! So I feel bad for this Reva later on. But because she is apparently uncontrollable. But it goes from there. The first episode's kind of slow. You expect it. Second episode gets a little bit more energetic. I was able to enjoy it a little bit. There were some questions with it. It's fine. Obi Wan goes to save Leia. That's fine. He's going through to. Then he has to pull another Benny Hill scene where he can't catch 10-year-old child running through crowd. All the while, you got people trying to shoot him. She falls off building. He summons up the Force, which he hadn't used in about a decade. Catches her with much great strain. Then magics himself to the ground because the way the editing was done. It doesn't explain where did he kill the two that were still shooting at him while he was trying to catch her. They say, "Oh, look, he's doing something good. He caught a little girl. We're going to stop shooting him." Just a little gripe on that. But that's okay. End of the episode, you have one of the dumbest writing mistakes they made was the stating that Obi Wan did not know that Anakin was Vader. Basically, Vader's Anakin's still alive. I'm going to take you to Vader. Yeah, he kind of knows that. It's kind of hard not to know that the 7'2" asthmatic space wizard that has been going on a warpath for the past decade is not still alive. I mean, the wheezing S&M wearing murderer. Come on. One of the most public things there was he was out there. But yeah, the minor gripes like that, but still didn't completely destroy the show for me. I mean, Reva, the character Reva yelling like she was, it really didn't make as much as she did. Really didn't make sense. She was yelling at inappropriate times, and that is not down to the actress. That is down to the director wanting to have a certain thing for. And I'm sorry, Deborah Chow. No matter how much a person yells, that does not convey more emotion. That just conveys reason for us to be annoyed. Um, it's almost as bad as whenever on Family Guy you have Stewie calling for Lois over and over again, trying to wake her up. Mama, 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 and all that is just, stop it. Third episode actually turned out, I really enjoyed the first half. A lot of people probably didn't. I did. You're giving a little bit of establishment. You're getting a little bit more trying to figure out Leia and Obi Wan out, and things go sideways. And finally, we get a decent kill within a Disney Star Wars series as a poor, unfortunate stormtrooper gets blasted and falls onto a security gate and gets cleaved in half. Now, it'd be a neat scene. Until it was a neat scene, it was a good scene, but there was a bit of an issue with it that kind of bothered me. And because I'm not willing to risk being shot down again by our lovely friends over at Disney and their automated things. Sorry. You see this security gate, and you see on either side. Now, why? Oh, why? After he killed off the stormtroopers, why did he have to disable the security gate? There is like a 4-foot wide gap on the side they could just walk through. No. We had to disable it. Why? Just walk around. Unfortunately, that becomes a theme later in the episode. But, other stormtroopers show up. Then you get Tala, this lady, Snake Lady from Game of Thrones is how I remember her. She shows up, find out that she's actually on their side. She's on the resistance side, on the rebellion side, whatever you want to call it, help people escape. After she shoots a few stormtroopers, helps them escape in town. They're planning their escape. They're planning to get on a ship and getting out of there. The galaxy's most famous asthmatic space wizard shows up, proceeds to drag one person out and choke him. A little boy runs up. He snaps his neck immediately, just trying to draw out Obi Wan. Yay, you get to see a ruthless Vader, something you really wanted to see. And then proceeds to kind of I'm not going to really criticize the choreography in the first fight between Obi Wan and Vader, because they're trying to convey Obi Wan's out of practice. He's just not really holding his own. My problem with that scene was the quick strikes and stuff was mostly the camera work on it. I had a hard time seeing a lot of times, and that's just me. The cam, others just fine, but the part that I want to bring up that gets me, okay. Vader has Obi-Wan. He's holding him in there. He's got him defeated. He starts a fire with a lightsaber because he knocks over some fuel, ignites it with his lightsaber, and he decides that he's going to drag Obi-Wan through it. Before this, he had already put out fire just by using the Force and pushing it out, push it away. Okay. Well, while he's tortured and everything, he gets back from that. Tala makes her grand thing where she decides to shoot at him. Well, not shoot at Vader, but shoot at the fuel canister herself, another one. Now, mind you, you just saw Vader put out the first one with the Force. He just pushed it out. The second one, nothing. It's like he's now magically afraid of the fire. You see this very slow loader droid run over, grab him, walk off with Obi Wan. Now, mind you, they can see him the whole time. He could have said, shoot through, shoot the people, stuff like that. They could have walked around the fire because you could see in the wide shots there was plenty of room for them to walk around the fire. Vader could, he has the force and stuff. He could leap over the fire. He has a suit that basically enables him to walk through lava. He lives on a volcanic planet surrounded by lava at all times. The suit is made to withstand that. He can just walk through the fire to get his prey, but he lets him go, and then, all right, that's for plot, I understand. Okay, he goes. He gets rescued. Leia gets kidnapped by Reva because Reva somehow ended up at the other end of the escape tunnel before Leia did, even though Leia was already in the tunnel going that way, and Reva was a fair amount of time and distance behind her. How'd she get there? Don't know. But she gets there, kills the pilot, kidnaps the child. Yay. Then comes to the 4th episode. Hold on for a moment, I need a drink on this one. Now, the 4th one is the worst one for camera for me. Thank heavens it was a short one. It was a 30-some-odd minute, like 32 minutes or 33 minutes long. Thank heavens it was short. The camera shook too much at unreasonable times. Okay, that's just for me. Others, I'm sure, can handle it better. My eyes have been a bit more sensitive. I've had nothing but nonstop migraine for the past 2 months. And just been pushing through. Anyways, and it's not because of any show or anything. I don't know what's causing it. Neurologist doesn't know yet either. But they're going through. Obi Wan is in a Bacta tank. He wakes up in there because they saved him, tossed him in there. He wakes up. He has to go find Leia. That's fine. They use the same method to get into the Fortress Inquisitorius that they used in Fallen Order. Now swim through the bottom. You'd fear increased security would happen, but now. While somebody goes inside to handle other parts of security. Kind of, yeah. Just saying that maybe want to look into that. But they go through, you see the dead Jedi and younglings, and looks like Amber. A lot of people are focused on who's in there. I have no idea, to be honest. Didn't take time to really look into it too much. Star Wars Theory has already done that probably a couple times over by now. That's damn, the guy's good. You want somebody that knows lore, watch him. But it's going through. Obi-Wan goes in to save Leia, Tala helps out on distraction, and certain things kind of irked me a little bit in the scene of a few of the scenes, the way that she was communicating with Obi-Wan. She's supposed to be hiding that she's talking to him. There is another Imperial officer literally sitting within 4 feet of her. No way in hell he could not hear her, but nah, that's fine. Another one comes up, asks for her credentials. she takes, they go behind some servers, which you can still see through. You can see where she was at, the workstation she was at, and the person sitting there. And she proceeds to brutally whack the guy. I mean, there was plenty of noise with it, thumping and everything else. Not that the guy wouldn't have heard it. I mean, unless all their console runners happen to be named Beethoven and can't hear Spock. But it's a minor gripe. Now, earlier in the episode, Obi Wan was trying to get used to using the foreskin by just moving a little pin or whatever it was, some little metallic device. He was trying to move it. Well, escaping with Leia after a distraction was caused, who was supposed to be interrogated. I'm going to leave that out. Just watch the episode. As much as I want to gripe about each of these episodes, they're worth watching. They're not great. I'm nitpicking at some things, other things. Honestly, I can't go back and rewatch episode 4 at all. With my eyes, I can't do it. It shakes too damn much for me. Too often. I have to pause it too often. And I cannot really enjoy the episode at all if I was meant to. And it really was a waste of a filler episode that they could have put on other things. If they wanted to give more if they wanted to flesh out Reva more to make the ending with her make more sense, that was your episode. Instead of waste it like that, you could have had more development with her. But it really was a waste. I mean, what did we get out of it? Got a few laughs out of it as you got to see they're walking out with Leia, and pardon me for putting it this way, but I don't think any Disney property should ever be proud to have a scene with a kid under the trench coat of an adult at this point. Yeah. Just saying. Not saying anything's happening. Nothing bad about Ian McGregor. It's just kind of disturbing with current things with Disney. Fourth episode was just the hero of the episode, Wade, got shot down, died, and everybody's been making memes about him coming back. An innocent mouse droid, the most innocent device in all of Star Wars. Something so harmless. Its entire existence is strictly you walk up to it and say, I need to get here. I need directions to get here. The little mouse droid just basically says, follow me. And you walk behind it and it will lead you to your destination. It's like a tour guide Roomba. And the snake lady from Game of Thrones decided, you know what? While we got these stormtroopers we're having to shoot at, I'm going to go out of my way to blast the poor thing. There was no stormtrooper over there. She just literally leaned down, aimed at the thing. It has no weapons. It has nothing. All it can do is squeak and run. And she shot it to set it on fire. She killed the poor thing. She killed the equivalent. Like I said, it'd be like if you went to the Smithsonian and they had little personal Roombas that they sent with you that would guide you on tours of the museum. She did the equivalency of shooting that thing. Just heartless. Really heartless. That poor creature. Well, droid. Alright. Next episode was actually pretty good. I actually liked the 5th episode a bit. Going through, they've got back to the planet. They're supposed to help other refugees escape. The tracking device that was put in Leia's little droid Lola corrupted it so they could control it. Seal the doors, the launch bay doors, fine. Okay. They go through a story with that. the Empire followed them. They went down, tried to break in the door to get in. And the whole time you're having flashbacks of something that is set before the Clone Wars started. And I really liked it. It was a sparring match between Obi Wan and Anakin. We had them sparring with them sparring together. Hayden Christensen did great in it. This is Disney's fault. They probably could have spent a few bucks to de-age him just a little bit. I'm sorry. I know it's been a couple years for him, but I mean, if they can do that if they can de-age Mark Hamill, they can de-age Hayden Christensen just a little bit. At least remove some of the gray. Same with Ian McGregor there. Ewan McGregor, how do you pronounce his name? I'm sorry. Ewan, I'm sorry, sir. I just can't do it. I really like that, and that whole episode plays off the themes that are played out in that fight. I really liked how that story played out. You go through, you get Reva's backstory, which really, considering the horrible things she's done this whole time, it's kind of hard to feel anything for her other than why is she still alive. By the end of the episode, that's your question: why is she still alive? You get a message from Bail Organa to Obi Wan. They are discussing. They're not discussing it. Bail Organa sends the message out where they had discussed before that he wasn't supposed to contact Obi Wan, but because it had been so long since he had heard from either Obi Wan or Leia, he was worried something went wrong. And in his message, he states that he's going to go to Tatooine to help Owen protect the boy. Okay. Well, that plays out at the end, but before we even get there, you have a decent little back and forth saber. Obi-Wan's finally using the saber more than just that little bit before, and he's putting up a good defense. Snake Lady from Game of Thrones blows herself up, which raises a question for the next episode. Blows herself up with a thermal detonator. In other words, super grenade. But that's nothing big here nor there. Right now, Reva tells Obi-Wan's talking to Reva back and forth, and the first time they really talked to her, she said that she doesn't need his help because she was hunting Vader. That's why she was doing all of her horrible things, so she could get close to Vader, because she was trying to avenge her youngling friends that died around her whenever she got stabbed by Vader. When she got stabbed by Anakin, she blamed Obi-Wan for not being there to stop Anakin. Of course, asking the question, where were you? Well, at that point, he was on a different planet. He just got finished killing Grievous and was running for his life from a boatload of stormtroopers that were trying to kill him. Not stormtroopers, but clone troopers that were trying to kill him. Like they had every other Jedi in there where they could. That's neither here nor there. The writing for that talk just really didn't mean anything to me. You got a little backstory on her. You have one of the cooler scenes shows up after Vader gets in there, walks in after Reva tells him that he's trapped Obi-Wan inside. After Obi-Wan tells Reva before that I have brought him to you for you to kill, basically. And Vader goes in, sees the ship taking off. This really cool scene. He pulls the ship out of the air. Looks like something out of Force Unleashed. With the way he pulls it out of the air, pulls it down to the ground. How he misses the other ship behind it, I don't know. Don't care. Because plot armor. Rips it open like it's tissue paper after getting it crushed into the ground. Sees it's empty. Standing there fuming, Reva takes this moment to attack. Does nothing because Vader just watch this. You know, I can't go any further. My head's hurting. I'm not even going to go over what I'm butchering. I'm absolutely butchering the review I had. That's what I get for spending days of editing on a half-hour review of the entire series, and that was worded a whole lot better. I have a whole script over here. I had image publicly worked images. I had everything else. I had a review set up, and before it could even go live, it got claimed by Disney right as soon as I hit the button to go live. It got claimed, and I you know, this is the closest I could do to a review at this point. I've lost motivation to do it. See, episode 6 had great scene, great fight between Vader and Obi Wan. That's fine. Questionable things with Reva. Who cares? Everybody knows what's going to happen on. Everybody knows. Everybody lives. So who cares? I'm sorry. I'm just not enthusiastic anymore. You know, I was enthusiastic about the review. I saw the potential of what they could do with it. I saw where, as much as I had gripes with certain plot holes, like where the hell was Bail Organa? He was supposed to be going to Obi Wan. He was supposed to be going to Tatooine to help Owen protect the boy. Reva gets there, unknown how she got a ship to get there, considering, wow, it was so kind of the Empire to leave her a ship. She waits till nightfall to attack. That's a matter of hours. More than enough time for Bail Organa to arrive on Tatooine and help Owen defend the boy. Never showed up. But not like Luke was ever in any real threat, because everybody knows where it all goes. So it was almost pointless. It never states that whether or not she knew that Luke was Anakin's son or anything. Just all around it. I'm sorry, I've lost a lot of motivation with this stuff. I was interested after I watched it. I was interested in saying, well, if they're going to do a second season, I'd like to see, never see Obi Wan fight Vader again. That was not necessary. But but that's not their only motivations. Vader had other motivations. He was obsessed with trying to find a way to get Padme back. He was obsessed with other things. He was obsessed with trying to repair his body that had been turned into a burnt marshmallow and delimbed on a lava planet. Obi-Wan, you could have various things he could do. They show Qui-Gon at the end of the series, I suppose, or season, if they do a second season. Am I going to watch another season? If they put out another season, I can live with or without it. I'll probably watch it. I mean, Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, the actors did a great job. It's just the writing wasn't there for me, but I could still turn off my mind, watch it, find things to enjoy, as long as I didn't think about things too deeply on it. Which probably is just what I'm going to have to do with everything. I can't say I could ever do that with Last Jedi, but that's a different story. I even tried. after watching this and thinking, all right, maybe I just need to reconsider my stance. Well, I tried rewatching Last Jedi and still wanted to throw remote from my TV within the first 10 minutes because the whole "Can you hear me now?" skit. It only gets worse from there. But look, if you got Disney Plus, you know somebody that has it, watch the series. Am I able to enjoy the series? Yes. Is it a great series? No. How would I rate it as far as the Disney Plus series that have to do with Star Wars? It's better than Boba Fett, but personally, I like season 2 of The Mandalorian better than Obi Wan. Is Obi Wan better than season 1 of The Mandalorian? Yes, without a doubt, without question. But is it better than season 2? No, season 2 was better. There's a few other Star Wars series coming out. You got Andor, you got Ahsoka, you got Bad Batch coming again, you got a few other things. Mando season 3 comes out next year, sometime in the spring, I believe. So, whatever. I want it to work. If they do a season 2, I'm not going to complain that they're doing a season 2 because maybe they can flesh things out. I'm avoiding the news on from the original writer for the Obi Wan series, which was supposed to be a movie. It was supposed to be a series of like 3 movies. The original writer for Obi Wan, but they kind of, after what happened with Solo on the box office, they kind of abandoned it. No, all right. Taking an unpopular opinion, but I thought Solo was fun. It wasn't a great movie, but it was a fun movie. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. Out of the Disney Star Wars movies, Rogue One's still my favorite of them. But you know what? That's just the way it goes. Well, now that I've run off basically everybody, probably even the old man with my rant over Star Wars, and I'm going to put it to everybody simply. I wouldn't rant so much about it, just like every other fan wouldn't rant so much about it, if it wasn't for the fact that it's a property we care about. It means something to all of us in a different way. For me, the books, movies, stuff like that, I've always had memory issues. That's how I taught myself as a kid to be able to memorize things better. If ever I'm having a hard time focusing with memory, I go back through and look through a lot of this stuff. I'll watch these movies and start memorizing lines intentionally, forcing my memory to actually work. Others, Star Wars Theory, he has his reasons for watching. He had several health issues growing up, and it got him through tough times. Others, it just became a big experience for them. Other people, it's something that that made part of their lives. It's much like Star Trek does that for people. And it's not just that. I guess the main reason people care about the lore of these things, care about the development, want things to stay true to it, is because it is so big that you can create new without having to trample on what was. You can even expand on what was, but you have to be cautious not to trample on it. And You know, it's I don't know if it's something that means, like I said, it means something different to everyone. Um, the it's I'm trying to find the words to put together. I really can't. Some people say focus too much on lore. Some people say focus too much on the minor little imperfections. Well, yeah, I'm going to notice certain things. I mean, quite frankly, me like a lot of people, like I was first introduced to the originals. When I was much younger, had VHS copies that we got at a yard sale. My mom introduced me to it. I was about 12, 11, 12 years old when I got them. We got really introduced to them. I was living in the middle of nowhere, so we had a VCR and 3 channels on TV because of the antenna. I miss those days, honestly. They were copies of the original theatrical release of Star Wars and Empire and Return of the Jedi, and I watched those so much that I used to be able to within the first time I watched, I could quote almost every character's line and when they said it, and I became so fascinated with it, enamored with it. I read the books. Luckily, the library at the school had some Star Wars books that were written. One of my favorite book series is the Darth Bane trilogy, written by Drew Carpushaw. He's the same man who wrote Knights of the Old Republic. Oh, don't forget Shadows of the Empire, which was the sequel that was really wasn't a sequel. It was the Star Wars movie I wanted decades ago. I wanted it after the first time I read it. Like a lot of people, it was perfect. It was. Everybody looks at what's it called dang it Rogue One. They see Rogue One as what's that in between. It leads right to A New Hope. Okay, that's where it's meant to explain the story of how the intel was gathered, that how Leia put the intel into R2 and sent them away, how they got that intel to be used. Well, Shadows of the Empire was to set up everything between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, as far as what happened to a lot of the characters in there, what happened to the other characters in there, and it awesome game if you can ever find it. It's on the Nintendo 64, so I'm pretty sure you can get emulators on it. Who knows? You'll probably be able to get it on the Switch right now, the Nintendo Switch, because they have the N64 stuff on there. The book is awesome. It is so much better. As a matter of fact, I think that's I can't suggest Audible any higher than anybody else would. I love Audible. Audible with my eyesight going. Audible is the way to go. I use the hell out of it to listen to a lot of books, and I believe you can get Shadows of the Empire on there. If you have a subscription, you get a point a month, and here's one. If you don't have Audible and you want to try it, wait for go on a Mighty Jingles channel. Occasionally he'll have Audible ads where you get a trial of it, and you can get a book. He'll give a recommendation. A lot of his recommendations are really good for books, so you can try it out if you want there. Well, on Amazon, find Shadows of the Empire. It's just I don't. Let's see. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to get something sorted. Trying to see if I can pull up. I'm sorry, Foodie. I just don't know how to mod you. And I'm trying my damnedest. Ah, there we go. Really? That's my problem. Okay. Sorry, old man. I'm sorry about this, chat. I'm trying to figure this out. Let's see if I see in there. You know what? I'm gonna do this a different way. Haha. No. I want an actual person. Not. Who's it eventually? That old man. We're gonna have to have a discussion about this. There we go. You know what? We're gonna have, like I said, we're gonna have to discuss this. I swear, he has a channel. Sorry about this. This is the most unprofessional stream you could ever find. My apologies. I'm kind of crap. Yeah. Anyways, I wish somebody else was there so I'd know what to talk about because, or I'd like to hear what other people think. But, I guess I'll never find out. Alright, well, screw it. I think I spent way too much time on Obi Wan just to make a crap review. I'm sorry about that. Because it really was crap. Because it has none of the enthusiasm. It has. Honestly, I don't know if it makes sense to anybody else, but you get smacked by you get smacked on a video by by Disney that you're using nothing but fair use stuff, and all you can do is just say, be demoralized. I mean, what am I supposed to do? I got 8 subscribers. It's not like I'm ever making money off of this. I'll never make money off it. I don't really care. I mean, I should care, but I don't think I ever will get to that point because I don't know if I'll ever improve. It's kind of hard to get motivation anymore. First, like I said, first it was Paramount, then it was Disney, and they even cleaned part of the video that was not theirs, completely wasn't. But I'll deal with that as it comes. But anyways, well, I think anybody watches this, please show me, please think about showing a little pity and throw me a like. I'm going to try to make more videos soon. Well, maybe not videos, more streams, because I'm terrible at editing. I'm trying to teach myself how to edit. That's the big problem. But we will, I will definitely do something else soon. I thank you all very much for anybody who watches. I thank you all very, very much for taking your time to watch this. Sorry about the ranting earlier with Obi Wan. I think that's basically going to be my last touch on that, unless another season comes out, and hopefully by then I'll have some motivation to talk about it. Because days of work, because I waited to review it until the entire series was out, and that was just a kick in the teeth, to be honest. And quite frankly, running out of teeth for him to kick. So, sure know how to make sure fans stay with you, don't you? Good job. Anyways, everybody have a pleasant evening, day, or whatever it is for you. I'm going to try to come back soon, more enthusiastic. I definitely have more energy. I'm trying to get, right now I'm trying to get a feel for this. I'm trying to get a feel for trying to stream things. I'm way out of practice, and I'm used to doing it on Twitch. So, I hope you have a pleasant evening there, whatever it is for you. If you could be so kind, leave comments. Tell me something you'd like me to go over. Tell me if there's a subject you'd like to go over, or if you'd like me to do. I'm willing to do really most topics. It doesn't just have to be entertainment. It doesn't just have to be movies or shows. It could be video games. Sometimes news of the day, as long as it's odd news. I'm trying to stay out of political stuff as much as possible because that's kind of toxic waters. But if that is something I'll request, if you're asked my opinion on something, I may consider doing it, but I'm going to try to avoid that if at all possible. Yeah, it's just right now I'm trying to get a feel for what I'm doing. I'm out of the swing, so any suggestions would be helpful for topics you may want to go over. Either way, I guess this is where I have to call it. So I hope you have a pleasant evening. Like I said before, I hope you have a pleasant evening, day, whatever it is for you. And I'll catch you in the next one.